The following podcast may contain discussions supported by science that may be considered dangerous to some listeners and conspiracy theorists. Discretion is advised.
The Three Down Greencast is brought to you by Lucky Bastard Distillers, Saskatchewan's premier distillery, and by the Pile of Bones Brewing Company, brewed in the heart of Regina.
Welcome to the Three Down Greencast. You are listening to the internet's only Like a Bad Neighbor, John Fraser is their podcast. I am Joel Gasson with John Fraser as usual. Off the bat, we're just going to roll the curtain back as we always do, be perfectly clear. We had full intentions of recording an episode last week after the Riders lost to the Hamilton Ticats. But one, Jonathan Q. Fraser lost internet for the evening. So we
crash out of nowhere.
Put a kibosh on that, and then he was busy for the rest of the week because he has other priorities apparently, and thus we did not record last week. So no, we were planning to do that. So we will discuss a little bit, very briefly, about that loss to the Hamilton Ticats. We'll of course talk about also the loss to the BC Lions, and we'll also talk about some other things from that game, including what's been going on with Trevor Harris, the signing of Shemar Bridges, and one kicker, Alex Hale. For all that, though, you may have, we alluded to a little bit, I guess, off the top. John is apparently a bad neighbor.
Terrible neighbor.
This isn't just me talking, because obviously I don't live next door to John. It would be very weird if I lived next door to John this whole time and we never recorded this podcast once in person. That would be very on brand and it'd be very, very, very funny.
Very on brand. Very much on brand. We've already discussed that we are going on a golf trip together later in September. And we've decided we will probably record an episode there, but we will be in separate rooms of the Verbo to stay on brand.
I'm not even sure if we will, because the Rider game is like Friday night. And then I fly out next morning to like 6 a.m. So,
but I feel like it would be a great... It would be like great for an Ask John Anything, though. Because again, we're there on the Monday or whatever, and then we could do an Ask John Anything in two separate rooms, and away we go.
We'll see. I'm not going to promise anything, because I don't know if I necessarily... Well, I guess I probably will be packing my computer to write anyway, so.
So there we
see.
go. It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. I'm not going to completely put a kibosh on the whole thing just yet, but it's a possibility. Yes.
We'll see what Dave, Joe, and Vince say. Maybe they will support it or like fund the project or whatever. But yes, apparently I'm a terrible neighbor, and we have proof of this, physical proof. Joel Gasson.
Yes, not coincidental at all. Clearly.
No. Although it feels kind of not coincidental, I'm not going to lie. So about less than a year ago, I had a couple new neighbors move in beside me. They seem like very lovely people, got a couple kids. We've been getting along swimmingly. Well, I could sense that maybe something was awry as I installed a pool this summer, a permanent above-ground pool, which I have been in basically constantly. And then this past weekend, as you also alluded to, the night before my internet gave up the ghost for 6 or 7 hours till I finally got it fixed. There we go. We had also, it was also my annual fantasy football draft weekend where a bunch of friends get together, they come over, and we do our football draft. But this year's was also extrapolated by the fact that, well, me, friends of the program, and curling teammates of ours, Jay Price and Luke Soretsky, basically sat in the pool deleting beers from 3 o'clock on Saturday. Friday. Then Saturday had some more friends over. And by Sunday, my neighbors had listed their house for sale. So, I'm not saying it's a coincidence that you put up the pool. Like, I could only imagine. And I even said to them, I said, hey, like, if you see we're home, knock on the gate one day. If your kids are home, we'd love to have you over, get to know you kind of thing. Like, I've always been very welcoming and like, hey, if we're back there, knock, come on in. Love to get to know you guys better, right? But I can only imagine having two, because you could kind of see the pool from their kitchen. So I can only imagine having two kids being like, hey, there's a pool there. There's a pool there. Hey, there's a pool there. So I don't know if it's just shutting the kids up, or if I am perhaps a terrible neighbor, or in fact my draft weekend was that wild that they spontaneously said, get us the fuck out of here.
It's possible. Or they just got tired of seeing you floating without a shirt on.
Oh, no, now I know what it is. I know what it is now. I know exactly what it is. It was definitely, lots of man, But when the kids are in the pool, I can't really go inside and change, right? Because you don't want to leave it unsafe. The kids are in the pool. You don't want to go inside.
Yep.
Something terrible could happen, right?
Yep.
So my deck is screened in, so you can't really see. But I'm not going to lie. There's been a few times that I've just grabbed some swim shorts off the line, gone onto my deck, and got changed on my deck. Maybe that's it. Maybe they have an angle that they saw.
There was a breach somewhere there that you were unaware of.
They
they
can
see everything in there. And yeah.
That's right. They can tolerate way too much chest hair. They can tolerate way too much back hair. They can tolerate not enough head hair. But a bit of bum hair, apparently that's where they're drawing the line.
I mean, it has to be, right? Like it obviously has to be you. There's no other logical explanation at all for what this could be. Everyone knows you just randomly put a house on the market out of nowhere. You don't plan for it for months. No.
But in fairness, they have it listed for what the old owners had it listed for. Like this seems like a spite, like we are moving. Like maybe they got a new job, who knows? But this seems like super sudden. Like they were out in the backyard picking like strawberries and asking me about the pool like a month ago, and all of a sudden it's like, yep, that's it, we're leaving.
I guess
maybe
we just may never know.
I feel like I have to, when I see them outside, I have to be like, hey, is this a it's me situation, or it's a not you, it's me situation?
This feels like a very strange conversation to have with someone when they're moving.
Oh man, it's almost comical how awkward I could make it. Like it would almost be like comically awkward to make it happen. But I don't think I could pull it off.
No.
But
in all likelihood, you're just going to not talk to them again.
That is fair. There wasn't a lot of mutual interest there either. They liked soccer a lot.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's, again, not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, I'm into the football with the hard and pointy and the tackling and the wrestling, not the football with the low scoring and kicking it everywhere.
Yeah, so good luck to whoever becomes John's new neighbor. If for some reason you would like to live next door to Jonathan Q. Fraser, apparently the house is on the market and the price hasn't gone up. So, hey, something to consider, I suppose.
Price has actually gone down from where it was in October. I'm not going to lie. The thought of, the one downside of building my pool, I have no yard space. I could just see it now.
We will buy the property to use the yard and rent out the house. You can't use the backyard for renting the house.
Now you're onto something. I was more thinking like a gate situation. Like you put the gate in, and all of a sudden I can have access to your yard, and you have access to the pool. So there is a plus. Or, I feel like maybe the universe is talking to the two of us, because the house beside you was also earlier up for sale. Mm-hmm. It's saying that maybe we should finally record this podcast someplace together.
No. No, the universe would never say such a thing. The universe is as committed to the bit as we are.
That's fair. Just like we will never be on YouTube.
No. Well, not the video anyways. I don't know. I haven't checked in a while to see if it's still working. If like the audio with like a still picture is still uploading, I honestly don't know.
Well,
I did it to get us on the YouTube Music app, not the actual YouTube app. So.
Well, now I get to go looking for that.
I thought I saw something about some errors at some point, and then I never looked into it. But our new backend, the backend server that we currently use now, allows you directly to load up to YouTube. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. No promises.
Green.
There was never any significant listenership there anyway. Like even fewer than 7. So.
We have 6 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
Wow. We got 3 views on the Riders Going Death Star on the Red Blacks.
Okay, so then that was their latest episode, so I guess it's still working. That's good to know.
We are consistently getting 3 views on all of these.
That's great. It's perfect.
I
wouldn't want that to go any higher, quite frankly.
It would be so off-brand. The best part is our Riders Ride Tommy Stevens to victory in Edmonton has 1 view, and I don't even want to click on it because it's like, okay,
perfect. No one ever.
There we go.
Take it down. Take it down.
Meanwhile, Greg and the Piffles guys are like, hey, we're hitting 600,000 views, and we're like, yeah, we're at like 4
Anyone
with 200
views.
That's right. 252 videos. Oh, okay, let's go popular. I'm having fun with this now. We once got 28 views.
Wow.
We once got 28 views. That is our all-time high.
Must have been some kind of weird bot that found the podcast that day.
Something like that. It was the right. Well, it's because we're debating if the writer should hit the panic button because, let's face it, nobody listens to us when they're winning. I mean, people barely listen to us when they're losing, but even fewer people listen to us when they're winning.
No, for sure. Yeah, when we will get
So
into that.
maybe-
And surprisingly, we're back around with at least once a year we get to talk about whether they should hit the panic button, and that's what we're going to get to do in a little bit. But before all of that, John, for Lucky Bastard Distillers, what is in the glass this week?
In the glass this week, somebody actually forgot club soda at my house, so I can be a classy bitch this week. Yes, that's right. Lemon vodka club soda. Basically what I live on all summer.
Basically a lighter version of what you normally drink.
That's fair. It's a more fizzy, bubbly version. So if I get the burps, it's because of that. And actually, I've got a double fisting as always. But
Yes,
could you
heard
really
the
call
can
it?
crack a little bit ago? So.
During draft weekend, some of I believe reigning Stadneck Invitational champion who needs to return the trophy to you, Patrick Janex. He left some 016 Ultras in my fridge, and I'm like, okay. I've been down here for a while. It's the night before my day off. I want something light that's not bad. And out of all the super, like, ultra light beers I've tried, I will say 016's doing a pretty good job.
Fair enough. For me, I have from the Parallel 49 Brewing Company out of British Columbia.
Oh, you're preparing!
Inadvertently. This was gifted to me as part of my groomsmen gift package from Bryce from Lucky Bastards for appearing in his wedding party. So it's kind of the bribe. It is their Pink Power Tropical POG, which stands for Passion Fruit Orange Guava. It's hibiscus sour. Yeah, it's pretty tasty, not gonna lie. It's hitting the spot a little bit tonight.
That sounds like the perfect summer beer and the perfect thing that we should definitely go pick up while on a golf trip to Kimberley, BC.
Mm-hmm. Because we will certainly have access to some great BC beers while we're out there. So definitely looking forward to that. If you were one of the 7 or one of the 4 on YouTube, if you know some good BC breweries that we haven't heard about, like obviously we know Parallel 49 and Phillips and some of the bigger guys like that, Driftwood with Fat Tug, like we're aware of those. But if there's some smaller stuff, especially around the Cranbrook, Kimberley area that we should know about, let us know through your favorite social media platforms.
Apparently, there is Balderdash Brewing Sneaky Weasel Craft, and it looks like...
No.
Okay, no Sneaky Weasel. Okay, good. Good to know. I'm glad that you know enough about BC craft beer before we go and get a whole bunch of BC craft beers.
No, it's like that's the pure, like, cheap value, really bad stuff. So, yeah, don't.
Oh, so that is like the Minhas of BC.
Yeah, we'll put it this way. At Bryce's house, his sister's boyfriend left a case of it there, like part of a case a while ago. And like
Yes.
Bryce isn't super picky about his beers. Like he'll drink Brew House. He generally drinks sort of whatever Great Western thing is on sale.
Right.
And he's like, no. He tried one of these and he's just like, it was disgusting. I can't do it. So we like, like if people leave beer at your house, you tend to eventually drink it, as you are doing right now. Yeah, the Sneaky Weasel has not been touched by anyone except this guy. And we were at Bryce's place on the weekend because it was his father-in-law's surprise 60th birthday. And he busted it out and he told the guy, he's like, no, you can't have any of the other beers that we provided until you finish this stuff.
That is awful. It's too bad that it probably got finished because I was going to offer a taste challenge for Stadneck weekend of Malort and Sneaky Weasel.
I can check with Bryce to see if there's any left. You might be able to bring you a can, and you can try. Yeah.
Listen, I once had a semi-warm club beer out of Manitoba. It was actually at my grandma's funeral. I've never switched to whiskey so quick in my life.
I've never heard of that one, and I probably don't need to. So.
Oh, it is anybody of the 7 or the 3 that have had a club from Manitoba, you'll know. You'll know.
If you know, you know, I guess is how it goes.
Yeah.
The Riders, I guess, played Blake Club beer.
Oh, yeah,
Sunday
that's
evening,
fair.
which is still weird to say, is they played the BC Lions and they lost in a game that was frankly very weird in a lot of fronts. Like, I think you could arguably say through the first half especially that the Riders were possibly the better team, at least equal with the BC Lions through that point, and you could say, okay, like, this game should probably be tied, or like if the Riders were up a bit, it wouldn't be that unusual. Like, they're moving the ball fairly well. You know, the defense was doing its job fairly well. There was nothing that was like egregiously wrong until they just couldn't finish drives, and then they were just, and it's continued throughout the course of the game, just making boneheaded mistakes at times where we're just not used to seeing this team do it, which is they quite frankly never do it. Like, usually, that's not to say this, like, obviously this team loses games. Obviously they're going to lose games. When they lose games, it's because the other team generally plays better, or there's some execution errors, or things like that. Football stuff goes wrong, not
Right.
brain farts and you do really stupid things that literally took at least 14 points off the board when they had a big Conley touchdown taken off the board and a fumbled punt return touchdown taken off the board because of penalties, which is just, it's mind-boggling because this is not stuff we're used to seeing this team do, and they suddenly just brought it out of nowhere against the BC Lions on Sunday.
And it's funny, looking at it in the big picture, like we like to on this podcast, you're right, Trey Ford just outplayed them, basically, when they lost to Hamilton, right? Mm-hmm. This was take aim at foot and fire. It reminded me very much so of the Craig Dickinson era.
Oh, like, we've seen a lot of this of Rider football over the years. There's no question about it. This has not been a staple of the Corey Mace Riders at all. Like, not even close. Like, even when he first took over, you sensed it was different. And when they were going to lose, it was going to be because, you know, of this play or that play or a decision or something, not just, wow, that was really stupid.
Well, and it's funny, it wasn't even just, like, the stupid penalties, right? It was like Trevor Harris for second week in a row not looking like Trevor Harris.
He looked better than he did against the Hamilton Ticats, for sure.
Agreed.
Like, just to rewind back to that game a little bit, like, yeah, the Riders lost that game for, like, sort of reasons we're used to seeing them losing. Like, for some reason, Trey Ford is Rider kryptonite, which we talked about a few weeks ago when they decided to start Jake Dalagala instead and wondered why they did that.
Right.
And then, yeah, and this Trevor Harris just did not play well in that game. I think if Harrison Frost plays to the end, they probably win. And this BC game feels like more an anomaly, but hey, c'est la vie. It is hard to plan for Trey Ford when you're not expecting Trey Ford, and that is when Trey Ford feasts, and that's why they lost that game. This game was, yeah, just a completely different animal that we're just not used to seeing from this team.
No, certainly. And this week was bad interceptions, even seeing dumb stuff like it fumbles everywhere. I mean, I know one was recovered by Logan Ferland, which was awesome. That popped right into his hands. Johnny Johnson.
Yeah, the fumble from Johnny Johnson right before the half was a bad one.
Oh, that was a killer.
Why are you spinning around? Why are you jumping around fighting for yards at that point? There's like 30 seconds left in the half. Get down and give your team a chance to get some points.
Well, and that's exactly it. I could understand that play if there were zeros on the clock and you need a touchdown.
Sure.
But I think, and this again goes back to it was Johnny Johnson's situational awareness just not there, because this team has been so good at reading the moments like that. It's almost like, okay, it wasn't there. I don't know what the heck happened, if the leaders weren't speaking, if something was just off in that room. I mean, in fairness, at one point, Corey Mace looked sweaty as hell. So maybe this could have been a lettuce degree incident. We don't know that, but it was something that seemed like brain fart after brain fart. The Johnny Johnson fumble, you got 30 seconds left. The play clock stops. Like, that just seems like a guy who's new to the Canadian game, and I get it, the timing rules are much better this year, but just go down. You've got 2 plays at least to put it into the end zone, maybe even 3 if you're quick, right?
Yeah,
so
they were in field goal range. Like, that was an easy at least 3 points. And yeah, they might have had a shot at more if you just, at that point, once there's enough defenders around you in that situation, just get down.
Right.
If there's room and there's room to run, sure. But there wasn't, so just get down.
get down. But it definitely seemed like a young guy getting used to the CFL rules, right? That in the NFL, you go down there, that clock keeps running. Right? Or even in college ball, you go down there, the clock keeps keeps running.
It was a first down, so they would have stopped in college while they set the chains.
Yes, you are correct. So NFL, it wouldn't have been, the time could have run out, and it just seemed
In
like
the
that
NFL,
was
though,
like
you got 3 timeouts per half, though, so they, in theory, probably still could have called the timeout there even if you get down. So.
Of course, but it seemed like that was more of a mental error, right?
Yeah.
Like he should have known to go down in that spot. Trevor Harris with the mental errors with the 2 INTs, again, both of them at very untimely moments.
That was the weirder part from like Trevor. Like he's been good for a pick a game lately, but they've been more sort of short to longer arm punts. It's been sort of in their end, going into the other way, sort of thing. This was the first time we've seen him throw some like decent to bad, sort of borderline, red zone adjacent picks. I don't think they were fully in the red zone yet, but they were pretty close. And it's just like, oof, Trevor. Like.
Now, and it's funny, okay, so I have another theory, has Trevor's good play just been covering up some bad, or has some poor defensive back play been covering it up? I'm not on the full Trevor is mid thing like I was with Zach, but I did read something interesting in the recap from 3 Down Nation's own Justin Dunk, that according to Pro Football Focus, he entered Week 12 with 18 turnover-worthy plays, which is 3rd in the CFL.
VA was leading that category, though, and he had thrown like 1 pick to that point. So
it's true, but that is also the VA experience.
Yes.
Like VA is going to sling it. That's the whole thing with Trevor Harris. You're not expecting him to turn it over because typically VA will make a good throw on a bad decision and it'll work out. Trevor Harris, because of his age and his arm strength, needs to make a good throw and a good decision. So that was a little bit surprising to me, and I'm like, okay, are we starting to see?
I think for Trevor, because he operates so quickly, you are throwing into sort of more bodies more often. Because there just isn't room for anything to clear out by the time he's throwing the football generally, right? So I could see, I don't know the exact definition of turnover worthy, but certainly he's gotten away with some stuff, but every quarterback does, right? So
certainly. I just think, though, I think it is something to keep an eye on because
It is for sure.
Thoroughly...
I do stand by the fact that he played better in this game than he did against Hamilton. I think if he played like this, like he did against Hamilton, they probably would have won that Hamilton game.
No, I would agree with that. He was dog water in Hamilton. Seems like
to rewind to Hamilton because we missed it a little bit. It's also a situation where football is a game of matchups, and there is something about that Hamilton defense that gives the Rider offense trouble. We saw it when they were here a few weeks ago. And it took a while for them to score some points, and it required the defense scoring some points to put that game away. Like, that Hamilton defense is good, and for whatever reason, they know how to combat this offense.
Well, and part of it, too, is if you could pick 2 places in the CFL that Saskatchewan just seems to lay an egg. No matter the era, no matter the team, no matter who, it's at Hamilton and at BC.
Hamilton especially,
right?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not hitting
BC's
the panic
number the last while, but yeah.
But even, it seems like when they play BC games at a weird time. Like a weird time for the body clock and everything like that. Like, I know it was 5 Sasky time, which it's not like
Sunday
the old
kind
they're
of a
playing
weird day
10
for the
o'clock.
CFL.
Yeah, everything was kind of weird. You're playing in a place that historically you have not been great after playing in a place that historically you were not great. Back-to-back on the road in a division that is just hell. So there are some things, there are some warts. Yeah. Like I think... I think this team does miss AJ Ouellette.
No question.
I think this team definitely misses Ronald Milligan.
Yeah.
That is becoming quite apparent, right? Like, if you look at the play of Jackson Ford.
Might be weird to say, but I think they might be missing Devon Campbell more than Roland Milligan. Just because Devon Campbell being out of the lineup has forced Nelson Lacombo to the corner, and then that's put Jackson Ford at safety, who has not been good. Like, there's no way to step around it. He's a local guy. He's a great special teamer. I'm sure he's great in the room, great guy. Like, all that stuff I'm sure is true. He has not been a good starting safety for the Saskatchewan Roughriders the last few weeks.
When I think safety, I think guy that could come downhill and break you.
There's
not a guy
that safety can do. That's one of them. But, like, he's getting beat all over the place. Like, it's not great out there. And I know like Nelson Lacombo's taken some heat in that spot, but he's played a lot better there than Jackson Ford has recently. And I think the offensive coordinators around this league are starting to take notice, and we're seeing it a lot more. There's no question about it. Yes, he's better. He's around the football. That's great. He made the interception. But yeah, like the people who know, like talk about, he's not taking great angles. He's struggling in coverage. Like it's not working. It's just not working there, and that's becoming a problem.
And I don't pretend to be a football savant. I don't. I've admitted it a million times. But, like, watching him basically, like...
Well, then you took a dumb penalty, too, that took an interception or something off the board, right? Like,
he did.
He had a guy after the play. Like, I felt it was borderline to me. Like, it kind of happened fairly fast after the catch wasn't made. I was like, eh. But at the same time, like... Okay, just don't put yourself in that position to hit the guy anyway, right? I get football's a fast game. I know that's going to happen. It felt sort of borderline to me, and I know some fans are upset about some of the calls in general. We generally don't talk officiating on this game.
No.
In this podcast. I thought it was mostly fine. None of the calls that really hurt them did I really think were that bad, but it's just, yeah, like it's been, when you're struggling in other aspects of the game, you can't also be doing something like that.
No, certainly. And I thought the one that really showed his struggles was, I forget, I was outside, I was barbecuing, I had my TV at an angle, I could kind of see it, but he went to tackle, it was either a BC receiver or running back, and he, like, wrapped his arm around him like the way that I jokingly play with my kids. Mm-hmm. Like, kind of dragging him like, you can't get dad. Like, and you can't have that out of your starting safety. So, that was... not great, and again, we are not typically guys to single one guy out, but it was not, he clearly is not ready for that position, I think is the best way to put it, and it's being exposed, and the injuries are exposing some of that depth, especially defensively, which is leading to the problems, and again, I'm not panic button mode.
No.
But holy shit, this West Division this year.
Yeah, so... what this did, like, yeah, there's no need to panic yet. I don't think we're at a point where you can sit here and say, "Oh, this is trouble," because I still believe that at least the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, I think, are definitely a worse football team. There is something weird about the Calgary Stampeders that I just can't quite put my finger on. They should be better than they are, but they aren't.
Well, it's wild. They've scored 378 points, which is 55 more than BC, who leads the division. But they've also given up a ton, right? So if you're going to play Calgary, you need to be able to score, and if you can't score, you're probably going to lose. But a team that's sitting in fifth, the only team out of the playoffs in the West Division right now that can score at that kind of rate is always going to be dangerous.
Yeah, no question about it. Like, I'm not saying they're done by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah. The BC Lions are obviously a very different team than we saw earlier in the year.
Yes, establishing their run game has changed them.
Yep, they have confidence now. Their defense is actually really good now after being deceived early in the year for the second year in a row. I don't know how they keep getting away with it, but they figure it out. And, like, I don't know, like, at this point, you know, a couple weeks ago it looked like the Riders were a foregone conclusion to at least host a home playoff game. Now I don't know. Like, the BC Lions, to me, are a team that is trending very strongly upward and very easily could surpass this Rider team, because I think it feels like at this point it's going to be tough to surpass the Edmonton Elks for first in the West.
They're very good.
That's not to say it can't happen. Like, lots can change in the CFL. Let's look at the last couple of weeks in Saskatchewan. But it feels like, yeah, this is coming down now to the Riders and Lions and who's going to host the West semifinal. And it's not a conversation we thought we were going to have a couple weeks ago. And one game, a couple weeks, here we are.
Certainly. And BC, too. This is just so them. Right? Like, it always seems like BC always starts slow. Now, part of it was playing in Kelowna, and not that the Apple Bowl didn't look like a great place to take in a game,
it was just
but
not having a true home for how long, right? I think the second week in Kelowna was kind of the point that turned their season around a bit. So it helped being in one spot that was quasi-home for a couple of weeks. But yeah, like, they had a slow start. I think there was... You know, obviously there was a ton of expectations on them. Just a whole bunch of people, myself included, had them going to the Grey Cup and winning. Nathan Rourke being the MOP, like, all of that sort of stuff was on the board. So I think maybe that maybe sneaked into the room a little bit, and they got off to a rough start and things kind of spiraled. And then weirdly, I think Nathan Rourke got hurt, and it kind of helped them reset their season a little bit. And then the expectations went down. the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Calgary Stampeders decided just to kind of tread water for a little bit instead of, distancing themselves from the BC Lions. They got their feet under them, and all of a sudden they're back in this thing.
No, you're absolutely bang on that one. BC, to me, has quickly become the biggest threat to a home playoff game, and suddenly, too, I mean, it's going to be very interesting here the next 3 weeks for both of these football teams, right? I mean, Saskatchewan gets a decent Toronto team. They're back at home. They're playing a Saturday game. Yeah. That's fair, but I mean, you're back at home. You just had a game in which you can flat out say, we cost ourselves that one. And to me, that's easier to overcome than we got outplayed, we got out-talented, we got outworked, right? Hey, park that one, burn the film, learn from it. What fascinates me is BC gets Montreal twice.
Yeah.
And then it's the old... Right, but I mean, in the next 3 games for these teams, like I'm just assuming BC is going to beat Ottawa because I think you and I and a few guys from Regina could beat Ottawa at this point. Like, I get it, exaggeration, but they are that dog water. But BC is all of a sudden getting Montreal twice in the old Labor Day Classic kind of weekend. So to me, Saskatchewan kind of needs to go on a heater because I feel like the home playoff game is going to be decided in the next 3 weeks.
Could be.
Like,
I don't know if we decided, but it'll certainly play into it. It'll be a big stretch because I mean, the Riders, they get Toronto and they got a couple against Winnipeg, and if there's ever a year that they should be able to sweep the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, it should be this one. It
is absolutely this year. Unless Alex Hale completely butchers it and Sergio beats him, but you got to think BC's probably 2-1 in the next 3 weeks.
It's possible, yeah. Like you'd think.
I'd be shocked if
they beat Ottawa. They should probably beat Montreal at home and then probably lose in Montreal.
Well, that's it. Like, I'm thinking there's a split coming for BC. So if you're Saskatchewan, you have to be going into the next couple weeks. You go 3-0 in the next couple weeks. All of a sudden, you're back to a 2-game lead over BC. So,
they still have one more game later in the year, I believe. So,
yes, I'm not saying it's panic time. I'm not saying anybody should hit the panic button. Some warts are starting to show. Hopefully, this team starts getting healthy in a hurry.
Yeah, and that's a big problem. They did bring in some reinforcements. They signed former top rookie nominee Shemar Bridges out of Winnipeg, out of Hamilton, if I can speak. He hadn't really stuck around there this year, and so he's a
which really is wild.
Yeah, Shemar Bridges. So really important Canadian depth for this team right now. Receiver, obviously, Sam Emelis left that game again late after full credit for like the heart and the desire to try to make that catch, but he shouldn't have been on the field at that point, quite frankly. So that one, to me, is a little bit on the coaching staff. Keon Schaefer-Baker, we don't know what's going on there. So, yeah, they obviously needed some help in terms of the Canadian depth, and Bridges was easily the best guy on the market there. So a little bit of reinforcements that will hopefully help that situation a little bit because, it's getting a little dire at receiver. Some of the younger guys can contribute a little bit, but I don't think it's realistic to expect them to be great every week like the guys that are currently out.
No, certainly. And a guy that was the outstanding rookie 2 years ago. Yep. Like, I don't know what's happened in Hamilton, who you pissed off. Like, talent doesn't go away that quickly. The guy's only 28 years old. Right? Like, this is a guy, all of a sudden you've got an injection of talent into this lineup, and I think it's a good gamble. Yeah, right?
It's definitely worth the flyer. He's arguably the top starting Canadian receiver if Sam Emelis doesn't play this week.
Well, according to everything I'm seeing, 3 Down says he's American.
Is he?
Says he's from Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
So it's more American depth. So that's seeming to indicate that maybe they're looking to move on from one of the American guys. Like, maybe somebody got banged up. Maybe a Keyshawn Johnson's out for a while. Maybe Johnny Johnson and his Fumble Rooskies is out. Or maybe they're looking at doing something with the ratio, right? But to me, you bring in talent.
Yeah.
Right? If you can bring in talent, you bring in talent, right? So, again, with the Canadian receiver spots, they've done such a good job of building depth there that you still need it. Like, again, Sam Emelis is banged up, Keon Schaefer-Baker's banged up, but maybe you look at doing something with the ratio. You bring in Shemar Bridges. I don't know what they do, but if you have an opportunity to bring in talent, you do so. 2024 Rookie of the Year, and weirdly just didn't play in Hamilton this year.
Yeah, so obviously, good depth moves, something that this team, I think, needs right now. I think the receiver room needs a little bit of a shot in the arm and a boost to help them sort of take the game back up to another level. And it'll be interesting to see sort of, I'd be surprised if he plays this week, but if there's any spot you can just kind of insert a receiver and ask him to do a few things on the field, it might be a receiver. So we could see him this week against Toronto, but I would certainly be surprised it might be another week before that. But I do have an actual theory as to why I think this team has started to struggle.
Okay. I'm here for it. Okay.
For the last year and a bit, this team has not received professional place kicking. Fair?
That's fair. Yes, because Brett Lowther had his struggles.
Yep.
He's turning around in Ottawa. Good for Brett. Good dude.
Yep.
And now Alex Hale, who also presumably is a good dude, has just continued to be absolute dog shit, which is making the offense...
Except for the last 2 weeks. He's 100% on everything the last 2 weeks. And the Riders lost both of those games.
If we had the old Tim and Sid, the old, go back, the dream music, go back to what I said. Remember when I said, when they beat Ottawa, that it felt like Corey Mace was protecting him?
Yep.
That it felt like Corey Mace was basically trying to give him a night off to reset his mind. And it seems like maybe that worked for Coach Mace. Because we were right here, and I said
against Hamilton.
He's looked much more confident. And let's face it, with kickers, it so often comes down to the yips.
Yeah.
Brett Lowther has proven that. The guy was a 90+% kicker for how many years, would play one bad game a year. We'd laugh about it. We'd record our annual episode about it, say, don't worry about Brett. Until last year, it was like the Beaches would sing, blame Brett.
Well, he was dealing with a bit of a back thing last year, too, which I think played into it. So
I agreed, but still, we all blame Brett. Yeah. And now Alex Hale, same thing. I felt like there was a moment that Corey Mace could have had him kick a long field goal against Ottawa, and to me, that changed that Ottawa game if he misses it, and he's probably gone. Instead, Corey Mace, I think, protected his guy. He knew where his head was at. And you're seeing it maybe pay off here with Alex Hale, with Corey Mace being a player's guy.
At what cost? They're not losing football games. So what this comes down to is, at least in the Corey Mace era, the Saskatchewan Roughriders aren't good with competent kicking.
Huh.
They require the pressure of their kicker not being able to make a kick to score touchdowns. Maybe.
I think you're onto something, Gas.
Yeah.
I mean, the proof's there. Lowther was bad last year. They won the Grey Cup, 70s, right?
So,
and they started off on a heater when Alex Hale couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. All of a sudden he can. Corey Mace has them all fixed up there. Corey Mace plays his mind games, and now they're 0-2. But it also could be us not recording for 2 weeks. That might have something to do with it because the Fraser curse works in mysterious ways, and I'm sure that has something to do with it.